G'day, ZiggyD here, and in this video I want to give you guys a bit of an overview and an introductory look at the skill and class system in ArcheAge. Now this one really surprised me. It's probably one of the most in-depth skill and class and customization systems for players that I've seen in any MMO so far. I may have missed an MMO with something more complex, but this one certainly surprised me. It wasn't something I was expecting. And after having sort of played around with it and seen it and sort of tried it on a few different characters and compared myself, my build, other people's builds and things like that, I'm starting to think that this is one of the things that's going to get people pretty excited about the game. Like, it's going to be another one of those really big draws for the game. So, basically, there are 120 classes in ArcheAge. Now, that kind of might sound a bit ridiculous, and it kind of is, but it makes sense once you start to put together the system and how things work. So basically, there are a number of different skill sets, and you take 3 skill sets and combine them together to create your class. So for example, here I have Occultism, the Occultism skill set, the Sorcery skill set, and the Vitalism skill set, and which forms my class, the Cultist. Now, I could easily switch out any one of these, and in fact I can simply go over here and talk to this Priestess of Nui just here. There's these priestesses scattered around the world pretty frequently, and there's also people in town where you can respec and change your skill system. So for example, I can select Sorcery and change it to any one of these. So here you can see the other skill sets available in the game. We have Battle Rage, Defense, Songcraft, Occultism, Sorcery, Witchcraft, Oromancy, Archery, Shadowplay, and Vitalism. And based on the names of these, you can kind of get a bit of a sense of what exactly they do. Like, Vitalism has healing and life-based magic, so that could deal damage or it could heal. A bit of a mixture of both there. Defense are obviously very shield, defense tank-oriented side of things. Battle Rage is more your melee warrior. Archery is obviously using a bow. Shadowplay is more of your roguey stealth style class, and etc. etc. So I can simply choose to respec my sorcery here into, let's say, I want to. So currently I'm basically, my build is I'm an AoE and healing and buffing based magic caster, so Occultist, Sorcery, and Vitalism. Now I could say, I kind of like the Occultism and Vitalism, but maybe I want to change out the Sorcery for something else. So I can go ahead and talk to here, and I can change Sorcery out to, let's say I want some more buffs, I want to be more of a party support character. I could change over to Songcraft, change the skill, it's going to cost me 50 silver, but in the name of science we'll do it. And now I am a Sorrow Song. That's right, and I also, the skills I had there were taken out, and I can now respec these freely into anything here. So I can say, let's give myself, my party, some move speed here, so I can take this skill and put it on my bar, or I can take any of these sorts of things. Now, each time, each one of these different skill sets or these masteries has to be leveled up separately. So you can see I have 25 levels in Occultism, and basically that allows me to obtain some of the more advanced skills in this skill set, whereas Songcraft is at level 10. All of these will be at level 10 by default, and you'll have to level these up over time. So I'll have to basically use these other 2 ones, the abilities I have from these skill sets, to sort of kill some mobs, do some quests and things like that, or go mine, or do whatever I want. So for example, I can go mine this iron just here. Oh man, hit my auto run. There we go. We'll gain some experience for that towards Songcraft. And basically, there you go, you see a little experience boost. And we can start unlocking some of the other skills for there. So, this is the first part. You take 3 of these different ones. So out of those different 10, you can combine them together in a number of different ways to give yourself 120 different classes. I'm not very good at maths, but it works out. It checks out. So, in addition to that, you then take only a limited number of each one of these skills. You can't get every skill in each of these masteries. So the idea is you take something like 1/3 or even less of each, or you could even take most of one skill mastery and only 1 or 2 skills from other things to create your build. So going back to my original build here, I'll go ahead and talk to this Priestess of Nui. We'll change Songcraft back to Sorcery, which I'll still have the 25 levels in. You can see there, I can switch back. And I can go ahead and re-get my skills from before. So I'm using Insulating Lens, which is a buffing, protective skill, which allows me to get into melee combat. And then Freezing Earth, which freezes enemies in an AoE. So basically, my spec is, the character I've designed is basically this. I buff myself up with armor, so I've taken this from the Sorcery tree here. Mostly focusing on AoEs from here on out. I do have a healing skill here, which I can, that's a regenerating skill there, and I can even use this other skill just here to either heal myself, or I can cast it on an enemy. You see that it combos there together to give me more healing, because basically, while I'm under the effect of a regeneration, my other healing skill here, Antithesis, also heals me up extra, so you can start to get a taste of the combo system that's also in effect there. So usually you're picking skills that combo together or sort of have some complementary things. So this will be able to heal myself, give me a nice amount of sustain in battle. Then once I actually get into battle, and this is basically the way my build works out here, is I cast this AoE skill here, Skewer, which impales and deals damage to enemies in that AoE. I have another one that does exactly the same thing from a different mastery, so these two things can combo together. You can see that combo inflicts additional damage to impaled targets. Now both of these impale targets, so I get a nice combo there. So those are from different trees even. Next up I have this Occultism Summon Crows here, which combos with impaled targets, inflicting poison down the bottom there, you can see. So I can then cast my crows, which will attack enemies nearby, and I can then use Freezing Earth to freeze and damage enemies as well. Now, it's pretty interesting the way this all comes together. I have some ideas of other things I can get. For example, this is another AoE skill just here that combos with Freezing Earth. So I'm basically selecting a lot of the different AoE skills from 3 of the most AoE heavy classes, as well as some extra buffs and things like that to make my build. So there's a lot of freedom in this game. This is a sandbox game. You guys saw in my last video. And the class system is definitely reflective of that idea of having it be a sandbox game. If you want to be a plate armor wearing healing mage or something like that, you can do so. As you can see, I'm wearing heavy armor here, and that's because I like to be up close. Now, the gear system also complements the skill system in the game, and the build and the class system, the customization, in that plate armor necessarily isn't just for melee tanks. You can also be worn by spellcasters. You see that this armor here has 11 intelligence and 28 spirit, so these are both things that support spellcasting, so this is pretty nice armor to wear for me. Or even though it's physical, up close and personal defensive thing, this supports my build, whereas another magic caster might want to wear cloth armor, and you could even have an archer wearing cloth armor or something like that as well if you wanted to, and you can have leather armor and things like that. So the skills and the gear types are kind of independent of each other, meaning that you have a lot of customization over how you gear and support your build through gearing as well. And then, as I mentioned, through some of the other skills, we have the combo system, which this is a basic tab targeting game. The combat is, the tab targeting seems pretty well done to me based on my limited experience with other tab targeting MMOs. I've heard good things about it from other people. But the combo system really works really nicely, and when you combine it with the ability to select skills from a lot of different skill sets and then combine them in any way you like, you get a lot of freedom and a lot of interesting theory crafting to be done. It kind of reminds me a bit of Path of Exile, which is another action RPG I play that has an immense level of customization. It's not quite on that level, but it's got that same sort of thing where you need to plan around limited skill availability and create something that works and creates interesting and powerful combos. And as a result, it ends up being quite interesting. So, if you want to make an Archer Bard, or you want to make a melee battle berserker bard, or if you want to make a spellcasting bard, you have the option of doing each one of these different things. There's a lot of different ways to build your characters, and there's just an enormous amount of builds out there, because although there's 120 classes, there's many times more ways you could actually combine the different skills that you actually select together to make your different build. So if you want to be a pretty unique person in the way you gear and build your character, then ArcheAge is probably a game that's going to get you pretty interested. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What sort of class you would like to build, what sort of character you would like to build, and maybe we can chat about it in the comments below. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.